What up, players? Cephas here, and today I have the long-awaited review of the Staccato P-Comp here. You may have saw that I did the impressions video of this a little while back. I've had plenty of rounds through it now where I can give you a good, unbiased review. For those of you familiar with high kappas, Staccatos are nothing new. It is just the branded trademark version, right? We've seen high kappas Tokyo Maruis for some time now, but now we have officially licensed product here that is licensed by EMG and manufactured by 6mmproshop. So I know there are a few versions out there. I am going to talk about the 6mmproshop version manufactured by Army Armament. So a little bit of background, not too much of a history lesson here, but Staccato used to be STI. They started developing what they would call the 2011, right? It's a trademarked name. Most of other manufacturers have come along and created their own version of it, which they call Double Stack 1911. So this is what we have here. You have typical 2011 style is that you have a metal slide, metal frame, and a plastic grip. Those are your three parts that make up the 2011. I chose this one because I already have a few C2s. We have an XC and then the P right here. The cool thing about now having the license is that in the past, in order to get a Staccato pistol, at least a really nice one, you would have to get a Nova kit, and that was like $900, $800, and then that was a kit. You put it together, put the parts. They're very nice, CNC'd aluminum, etc., but very pricey. So when Army Armament came out with their version, or the 6mmproshop, at $140 for their P-Comp, you wonder, are there any, did they cut any corners? Is it cheap? Is it, just junk, or et cetera, et cetera? Long story short, hang in the video here because I think you'll like it, but long story short is that it is a very nice pistol. And for $140, hard to find a better value and a better gun at this price point here. First off, we'll start in the front, okay? So this is the reason why it's called P-Comp, is that it is a compensator in the front right here. It's a little bit different from the XC. The XC is has a flat nose, and it goes almost the whole width of the frame and the slide. This is slightly smaller right here. Also, you have this angled cut right here, which is kind of like the John Wick series of guns. Have you seen them from Terran Technical, the Sand Viper and the Pit Viper? And so I like that, which is part of the reason why I got this. I didn't want the blockiness of the XC, and I like this kind of angled cut. So moving on, we also have the compensator right here. They have a slight cut right here to kind of vent gases for recoil management. Obviously in Airsoft that doesn't matter. The cool thing though is that it's kind of hard to see. I'll show you a better view of this in a side shot. Is that once you remove the orange tip thing, there's actual threading in here, and you can attach a suppressor or a tracer unit. So if you wanted to play indoors, you wanted to use tracer units, or you just wanted the whole thing. I know it's kind of funny because of why would you have a suppressor or tracer when you have a compensator here? It doesn't make sense in the real steel, but for Airsoft reasons, yeah, you can use it to put a tracer unit right there, which is nice. I like that feature. Moving a little bit farther back to the rear, you have a fiber optic sight with the red fiber optic right here, which is cool. I like it. It's nice and tight, and so I've had a couple of these just kind of fall out from time to time, and I'm glad this one has stayed in there still. And I've put, at this point, thousands of rounds to this gun, and so it's holding true. It's not loose either, which I like it well. Okay. The slide is a nice, it's aluminum, right? It's not CNC'd for sure, I can tell you that, or else it'd be much more expensive. But it does feel good. The finish is good as well. It has a slight matte finish to it, which, you know, it's not glossy, which is kind of cool. You have front and rear serration, so you can kind of, you know, reload this way or reload from back here, however you want to rack your slide back. Okay, there's that. Aesthetically, I also like the markings. The markings right here, you can see, are very nice. They're defined. They look and clean, right? Which is good. Nice, sharp, and clean markings here, which what you would expect, right? Or else why even go through all this effort to get markings if they're going to look like junk anyway, right? So I do like that. You have the nice flag engraving right here, which is cool. Moving to the rear of the gun, this one came with an optics plate, so you can put your choice of red dot or optic, your favorite choice. I have a Holosun 509T here, which I'll talk about in detail a little bit more later in the review. Down here we have the plastic grip. It's nicely stippled. My preference, it's not too harsh and it's not too slippery as well. It works well with gloves too, which I like. I've had, you know, gripping that's a little bit too aggressive, and you can just take some sandpaper and you can go at it, but I didn't feel it necessary with this one. I felt this to be the perfect amount of stippling for my hands. Moving to the bottom, we have an enlarged mag well. You can do quick reloads like that, which I like. Right there. Really helps when you're doing reloading or tack reloading, right? So I like that on my guns. At the bottom of the grip here, you have the Staccato logo, the Texas star right here, which I think is cool. Internally wise, they have upgraded the components in the trigger assembly and the hammer and sear. All these components are CNC'd, which are nice. So you're gonna get long life. It feel nice and crisp. One of the standout features that I really like about the pistol, though, is the slide to frame fitment. For a manufactured or a non-custom gun, meaning a gun that it wasn't somebody spent time polishing or filing down, this slide to fitment is incredibly tight. There's very little play, and then it just feels so smooth, right? So I want to show you this. You can. It literally feels like it's just gliding on the rails right here, which is, look at that. That's just fantastic. The recoiling, just the mechanism when it does it, it feels really good. The springs in the gun, the recoil spring and the hammer spring and the leaf spring, they all feel adequate. So that I don't feel there's a need to replace this. Now I'm sure you can if you want to, but for my uses, I didn't feel it to be necessary. Performance-wise, this gun is fantastic. I cannot be more happy about it in terms of performance. I haven't had any malfunctions or anything break of the gun yet. And it's just a joy to shoot. It does what you need it to do. You press the trigger, it goes bang, and it does it again multiple times, and it does it fast, and it does it well, and it does it accurately. So, out of a pistol or a gun, what more can you ask for, right? In terms of the actual shooting, I felt this performed the same as most high kappas out there, and which is pretty good. You're getting good to decent gas efficiency from the magazines here, which I'll go into a little bit later on. But also the accuracy at this is very good. I'm able to shoot, if you're playing indoor fields on this, you'll be able to reach most ends or limits of the indoor fields from one side to the other side, no issues at all. Besides the great slide to frame fitment here, you have a really nice trigger, right? So I want to show this right here so you can see the take up and the reset. This is really, really good, right? So if we'll rack it back, and you see here, you can see that it's a millimeter, if maybe even less, right? But there's really no take up. and then you press it and you hit that wall right there, and then that's it. You reset, let your finger right here about 2 millimeters, and then you're back there, right? Same thing. Right, look at that. So you're able to get a lot of shots in succession very quickly with this gun. And so also with this gas efficiency, the magazine the gun comes with is your typical high caliber type of magazine. However, it's advertised to have an upgraded valve here for slightly more gas. I think it has very slightly amount, because when I shoot the gun in terms of that, it sounds just a little bit stronger, I guess you could say it. So this is the magazine that it comes with, this Staccato branded magazine here. Let's just see a little here. Okay. Yeah, see, it just sounds it's a little bit stronger. Not too much, but, you know, I would say my recommendation is that if you have a bunch of, you know, Army Armament magazines, these are like the TTI ones, right? Terran Tactical ones. There's really no need to start to go and buying and replacing all these magazines and then getting the Staccato ones. However, if places like Evic that sells them, which is where I bought this gas blowback pistol, then go for these. These seem to be very good quality, very well made, and then on top of that, they have the Staccato branding on the bottom of the base plate, which I think is pretty cool. These are a little bit different in that the base plate, instead of your traditional flow valve that you have a hole on right here with the Terran Tactic ones or the other Army Armament ones, where you just charge with the green gas at the bottom, these require you to slide out like this, like so, and then you can charge in the valve right there. You can, and I know why they do that. They do it because of realism, because, you know, if you're using this as a prop, right, you wouldn't want to have a flow valve right there. It just gives it away, saying, oh, that's an Airsoft replica, right? However, if you don't like this option, you can actually, it's this little star thing right here is removable, which will give you free access to the valves where you would not need to do this every time to fill or charge a magazine. So there's that option as well, which I thought was cool. I didn't know that until I started messing around with it. I was like, oh, you can punch that out. That's kind of neat. So these are the magazines. I will say though, I only have this issue with the PCOMs or the XCs, is that the magazine is slightly tight in the grip, right? Meaning it doesn't quite free fall without a little bit of force, right? So I just put it in right here. I'm holding down the mag release button and it doesn't drop, right? I have to just slightly pull at it and then it comes out. It's the same for the Army Armament Terran Tactical ones. Put it in, it doesn't drop freely. I have to kind of pull it out. I don't have that issue on my C2s, but it's just a minor thing where would I like it to drop freely? Yeah, but it's not the end of the world. In terms of upgrades, I haven't done anything to this gun. The only thing I've added are the accessories for it, but interior wise or upgrades, I didn't feel necessary. There are very minor issues, but the one that I wish they would change is the optics mount here. They have an optics mount that has just 2 holes that can come down from the optic. And if you look at real steel, they have what's called boss lugs, right? Or recoil lugs. These are lugs. They're usually in the front or somewhere. Basically, you have more than 2 points of contact on an optic mount, so which prevents it from twisting, right, or coming loose. My experience is that no matter how tight you make 2 screws, you can Loctite it, it will come loose because you need that 3rd or 4th point to prevent it. Most manufacturers or real steel have introduced 2 boss lugs or 2 posts at the front right here which prevent that. 6mm Pro Shop, Army Armament didn't make those, so I came up with my own solution to be able to do that, where I mounted the 509T mount with the screws and then bonded it, cold bonded it to the adapter plate, and which makes it virtually bomb proof. This is not coming off and not twisting off no matter what. And then the 509T just simply attaches to that mount via their set screw, which you use an Allen key or a star key tool, and it's very secure. It's not going anywhere. You can just do this all day and it's never going to come off. So that's something I wish they would do. The only pistol that I've seen or airsoft manufacturer that has done that is the PTS. PTS, in terms of their Zev OZ9, they have those posts. In terms of accessories, you can see here I have a Streamlight TLR1, which is my go-to. I've been using this on a variety of guns and pistols. I have two, and you can put it on a variety of pistols or carbines if you choose to. You just simply slides onto the rail right here on the pistol. There's no adapter needed. You just simply put it on and you screw it in with the locking screw right here, which is neat. With the TLR1 and a lot of lights, they'll come with different types of modules that you can do it, so you can move the light forward more or to the rear more, so you can get it to where you can activate this switch proficiently, right? The other thing I already mentioned was the HoloSun 509T with the adapter plate to go onto the RMR optic plate. And then on top of that, I have the 100 Concepts flash kill to protect this against BB strikes, because I've already seen it a couple times, people with their optics even on a pistol. So a little insurance to make sure that your nice optic doesn't get shot out. In regards to being able to holster this gun, I am using a Black Hawk Omnivore. And I like that because I have a variety of pistols, and I don't like buying multiple holsters for different pistols. Seems a little bit redundant to me. So I've chosen to simply have a holster that can lock onto the light. With the Black Hawk Omnivore, you're able to choose an option of the Surefire X300 or the Streamlight TLR1, as I have here. And simply, if I want to use a different gun, whether it's the SIG AXG or the PTS OZ9 or a variety of pistols, as long as that pistol has a rail and you're able to put on the light, it'll be able to holster into it nicely. In conclusion, I think this is a fantastic gas blowback pistol from 6mm Pro Shop here. For the price, I don't think you can go wrong. And then if you're smart, just wait until the next holiday, President's Day, Labor Day, Memorial Day, whatever, and it goes even cheaper from $140 to $120, right? Which is a great deal for this pistol here. For the current subscribers of the channel, we have a lot of other things coming our way, a lot of new areas to play in, and then on top of that, we got some new guns, new gear. Everything from the Honey Badger right there to the VFC M249 that we've been using quite frequently now, and it's been performing well. Everything to that, to gear in terms of plate carriers, night vision, etc., right? So feel free if you want to ask for something. If we have time and we're able to do it, we're more than willing to make a video and be a part of the community and add some knowledge out there too that you guys might find useful, or at the very least entertaining. So thanks for watching again. This is Cephas. Take care and God bless you.